right, the UIL playoffs for the boys begin on Monday. There are plenty of favorites in the North Texas area. Kenny Matthews from Friday Night Glory joining us now to break down some teams to look out for. Kenny, appreciate you joining us, man. We have to start, of course, in 6A, the biggest story in basketball in DFW, Plano East, finishing 33-0 this regular season. But we all know the regular season and postseason, those are two completely different animals. Do we think the Panthers have what it takes to get it done, get to the Alamo Dome, and then who could be their biggest competition trying to stop them from getting there?
I think this is a year for Plano East, simply for playing Lake Collins last year in that tough loss there in the second round, 63-60 to the eventual state champion. They've had a mission since that day one to come through. Got 10 guys been playing with each other since the third grade together. They play extremely hard defense. Coach Webster has that team buying into the team concept, which is huge this time of year. I think the real X factor there is DJ Hall, the big man down low. If he keeps dominating and controlling the paint the way he does, it's going to be extremely tough for them not to be cutting down the nets in San Antonio.
And that's going to be the question, is can they keep the undefeated run going? That is something that is very hard to do, as you and I both know. I want to go to 5A now. Lancaster is the state's #1 team as well. They really haven't seen a lot of competition, though, since district play got going. What do you like about them, and what other DFW 5A teams do we need to keep our eye on as the postseason begins?
Well, if you're going to say Lancaster, you got to say Dylan Matee. I mean, goodness, son of NBA Tony Matee. I mean, he's a great player. Another team that's motivated, losing in the regional finals to Kimball last year, the eventual state champion. I think that's also one of those things you keep in the offseason, and that makes you work hard to get back to make sure you don't have that feeling again for them. And I mean, Coach Douglas, he always has his team ready to play. I love their length. I love their athleticism. I think they're going to be in San Antonio. And once they get to San Antonio, it's going to be hard to win it, but I think they will get out of the region.
Any other 5A teams that you got your eye on right now that you think are some teams that we need to be paying attention to other than Lancaster going into potentially making that run there?
Well, I mean, you've got to like I like Lone Star.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I mean, we got to like the Trent Prairie kid, the super sophomore. He's played extremely well. I like the way they play defense. I love also the way that they rebound the basketball too. And they've got a lot of perimeter shooting. I think that's going to be really, really big for them in Lone Star. And I think that if you're going to say anything, you're probably going to have to say, Elson 5A, goodness gracious.
Well, let's get to 4A, because I do want to make sure that we mention Eastern Hills as well.
Yes.
Because they're #1 in the state, and they've got a tough path with Faith Family there, and but Eastern Hills, what a great story. Talk a little about them and tell us what makes them so special.
Well, Coach Miller's really got this bunch playing at a very high level. I know their strength of schedule has not been very good, obviously, but what they've been able to do is pound those teams in submission. They're beating them by 30 and 5 and 40 points is what you're supposed to be able to do. They're very athletic. I love the Alex Barther kid. I think that he's a phenomenal player for them. It'll be interesting as the competition does, kind of step up a little bit, if they could raise their game back up to that, because that's kind of hard to do sometimes. But I think they are so athletic and they come at you in such many ways. I think they can do it.
And then some dark horses that maybe you have your eye on. Of course, we're always looking for these upsets. Who are some dark horses that you're looking out for potentially going to the playoffs?
Well, in 4A, I mean, is this the year that Carter can finally get over the Faith Family hump in the regional finals? I mean, Carter could probably lay claim that they've been the second best 4A team the last 3 years. They've lost to the eventual champion in the regional finals the last 3 years. I mean, anytime you got Mr. Courier on your team, I mean, you got a chance to beat a lot of people for sure. Another team that I was probably thinking about might be is that Faith Family, people are not really talking about them because their record wasn't very impressive at the beginning of the year. They played a difficult schedule. But, I mean, Faith Family with Coach Brandon, I mean, you can't ever go against Brandon Thomas. He's won 3 out of the last 5 years. And I would also say the one team you probably need to pay attention to, it's a 6A team, is Duncanville. Coach Peavy has won 28 straight playoff games.
I cannot believe we're saying Faith Family and Duncanville are the dark horses, but it really does feel that way. It is wild. It's going to be an awesome postseason. Kenny Matthews from Friday Night Glory. Man, appreciate you being in studio. Can't wait to get it going.
Thank you, Pat.